Good morning, Floss too. My name is Laura, and I'd like to welcome you to Stitching by the Shore, my channel about cross stitch. I say every week that every once in a while there's other crafty stuff, and every week I say, well, this week though there's only cross stitch, and that's the case in this week. I have some ideas of other crafty things that are in the back of my mind, but when I think, oh, I should do them, I just want to cross stitch instead. So that's what we've got this week. If you are new to my channel, I want to say welcome. Thank you so much for pressing play, for giving my video a chance, a try. I hope you like what you see. I hope you will subscribe, press like. Please leave a comment. I love interacting with you all, and I love the chats. So feel free at any time to either ask questions, leave comments, whatever you want. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back again and visiting with me this week. I love seeing you all every week, and I love that you leave comments and we can continue the conversations each week. I really do appreciate it. I have a little goal in mind as we get 6 weeks out to my birthday. I happened to check my stats, and I am 200 people away from 1,000 subscribers. So if you have not subscribed, click that button, please. I would love it. It's just a goal throwing out there. Nothing's gonna change at 1,000, but you know what? It's just good to have goals. So that's mine. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. I'd appreciate it. Other than that, it is Friday, September 11th. It is 8:50. And so I feel like I need to take a moment to acknowledge the day and the time. 19 years ago today, I remember it vividly. Don't remember what I had for lunch yesterday, but I remember this vividly. Megan was a month old. We were sitting in her nursery, bedroom, whatever you want to call it. I was in the rocking chair, feeding her, and I had the radio on as kind of company. Because back then there were no phones and iPads to watch things. And I heard the news, and I just was dumbstruck and sad. We have family that day was in that area, and it took a while before we heard that they were okay. But luckily they were okay. For anybody who lost a loved one that day, my heart goes out to you, and it just something we will never forget. I have no segue from that, so I am just gonna go into cross stitch because there's just no graceful way to segue from that. So let's go to finishes, shall we? Oh, I'm channeling Pam and Steph there with the shall we. Sorry about that, Pam and Steph. Not that they watch, they'll never know. I do have a finish. I did not show, I don't have the actual pattern because it's digital, and I have a finished piece of it, so I figured that's good. This is a Twin Peaks primitive piece, and ironically enough, as I was channeling Pam and Steph with the shall we, this is actually part of a stitch along that Pam is hosting. It's the hashtag illbehomesal. The patterns are from Twin Peak Primitives. I don't remember if I said that or not. And it's a monthly set, so January to December cottages. Some people are stitching them all in one gorgeous piece. I am stitching them in 12 separate pieces, eventually getting to all 12. And I finished September, so this is what we have. This is stitched on 18 count, unnamed Bestitchme. I must have won it in a Friday night fight night. I changed a decent amount. The color of the vines is different. The color of the leaves is different. The color of the front bushes is different. And that led me also to changing the color of the month. Originally it was charted in white, which I'm not sure would show up on this anyway, so I was planning on changing that color. I hemmed and hawed, and you guys gave great suggestions. The flowers there are 2 shades of purple, and I thought about mixing that, but right before I did it, it's September, and purple doesn't feel like a September month necessarily. If it had been April or May or in even the summertime, I would have thought about it. So then I thought about, okay, it's fall. What about a couple shades of the orange and brown? And so I took each strand each of the DMC. This is all done in DMC. And I had the S in and I had the E almost done when I realized I hadn't stitched the E correctly and it didn't look good and I couldn't fudge it. So as I was frogging that, I said, you know what, I'm not loving it. So I just took out the whole thing and decided to go with the green instead. And the green is the one that matches the leaves. So that's what we ended up with. Ironically, I have another mistake, but I was not fixing this one. The B, I missed a stitch and it's one over too close, but I didn't realize that till I got to the R. And I said, nope, not doing it. Nobody's ever gonna know. So it's staying the way it is. And that is the September cottage finished. I do really like October. I am not starting it at the moment though, because I have some other houses that I want to stitch. And so maybe in October, maybe not. This is just an ongoing kind of fun sal that I'm participating in. And everybody who's doing single houses is jumping all over the place. I've seen all sorts of different houses stitched because some people are only doing not even all 12, just a couple. But there is a Facebook group that I will link down below if you would like to join. They've even welcomed people that are not stitching it but just want to follow along. There is a couple questions to answer, and they do say answer the questions. But it's a lot of fun, and I love seeing all the different ways that people are doing it, all the different fabrics and colors and designs, and it's a lot of fun. So if you want to join in, click out the link down below, and I'd love to see you there. All right, that's it for finishes. I was spoiled with last week's 3, apparently. This week I have some works in progress whips to show you. I got some accomplished. It was one of those weeks where stitching, you'd start stitching and then something else would come up. And so back and forth, I did get some good stitching on a new start yesterday. So I'm excited to show you that. But let's do the whips first. You'll make up your own mind whether I did very much or not. This one is called Halloween Calendar from Tiny Modernist. Now I am stitching them all separately to be turned into something undetermined yet. There's a couple of different ideas floating around about what to do. And I am stitching it in 3 different shades of fabric. So you're gonna see I've jumped around and I'm rotating them because depending on one type of finish, it would look better if it's rotated. This is done, these sets right now that I'm showing you was done on 18 count Haunting by Fabrics by Stephanie. This was the one I did last week. And I did end up doing the numbers. Even if I put it on a tree, I thought it was okay. And if I banner it, then you definitely want the numbers. This is the one that I finished this week. This was day number 4, the little haunted house. And then day number 7 is a little trick-or-treat guy right there, and that's what I have so far. Not a ton on that one, but a little bit. I'd like to at least try to get 1.5 done each time I sit down on it. Obviously, this is not going to be ready for the beginning of October. It may not even be ready for Halloween, but that's okay because there's 2021 to decorate for. So if it doesn't happen this year, it'll happen next year. So that one was my Halloween. Let's jump to 2 holidays later at Christmas. I pulled out last week, I finished the Prairie Schooler Santa 2020. So I'm pulling out some more of my Christmas whips that I especially had started in Jolly July. Well, Christmas in July. I called it Christmas in July. And then a couple will eventually come from Mania. This one, I'm working first on ones that I think I can get a finish on. And then the big ones will come later. This one was from Stitching with the Housewives, and it is Jolly Saint Nick and Rudolph. And that's what it looks like. Now I changed the background fabric color, and this is what I have. This is done on 18 count. They're all 18 count. So if I forget to tell you that part, rest assured it's 18 count. April showers from Bestitchme. That's what we have so far. I thought I'd get a little bit farther, but I had to do all his arm, this, and I was starting his legs. He's bigger than you realize. I thought, oh, it's just one color too, but there's a lot of him. There's a lot of stitches. So I thought I might get this done in a couple weeks session-wise, but it's gonna take me at least 2 or 3 more like sit-down sessions of like that day, concentrating on stitching with it. So he's gonna take a little while yet, but I really like him on this fabric, and I think it'll look good when it's done. How it's gonna be finished, we don't know yet, but I think it's gonna look really good when it's done. That blue sticks out nicely. All right, we've done with the holidays. We're done with the holiday stitching. This next one, although you could say it's kind of summerish because it's flowers, is the Brunch at Buttonwood Farm. And this is from Vintage Needle Arts. She's on Etsy. I'll link her. Yeah, I'm not sure I link it every week, but I certainly can throw a link down there. And this is done on Nantucket sky. First look at it from a distance. I love the sky. And I've told you this before. I would like to finish it with more sky than ground. So that, I mean, not all the way up to here, but definitely to show sky. And here it is up close. We've established that I worried for nothing. The cow will show up. At this point, he is done. I just have flowers and flowers and more flowers on this side of him. So super excited. I really am enjoying this stitch. It's a lot of fun. He's cute. He's cute, she's cute. I don't know. I'm calling him a he. The closest, I think I said in one of the comments at one point, the closest I really have spent time on a farm is there's one around the corner that you can take your kids to, and they visit the animals, and my kids did camp there and everything else. So that's the extent of my farm experience, is looking at the cows, looking at the chickens. There is a rooster that just walks around the farm though, big red. But that's the extent. So I don't know much about cows. Anyway, this is what it looks like. I'm hoping maybe one more stitching day session, but we'll see. It is so funny with my screen grabs. Usually, I don't know if you've noticed, but I talk with my hands a lot. And usually a lot of times the screen grabs are ones where I'm not even holding a piece, but my hands are wildly going in every direction. So I need to practice, because usually they pick faces, right? So I need to practice holding something with my face showing. So maybe that's what they'll pick for a screen grab. So that's that one. Close to a finish. This one is not close to a finish. This last work in progress is from Silver Creek Samplers. It's Coastal Cola. Again, I changed the fabric to give it a little bit different vibe. This is Butter. The fabric is called Butter from Hand Dyed Happiness. I checked this week. She's still on vacation. Really, really hope she's coming back. Her fabric is a joy. Really lovely to stitch with. So I got spoiled because this all went fast, and I was really, it was this section is the only section I got this past week, but it is full coverage. Every single one of those stitches is with those squares is stitched, and that will be, if you look in the pattern, that's the entire bottom. Either it's sand or it's water. So I think I'm going to switch between the two. So this way I feel like, okay, sometimes we'll do the full coverage part, sometimes we'll do this part, until I have nothing left but down there. But I still really, really enjoy it. It may, obviously, come October, go into the whip pile, just because we're focusing on pumpkins in October. But I really do enjoy it. The pattern is lovely to stitch, and it's just, the fabric is lovely to stitch on. There's just everything about it I enjoy. So I'm enjoying that. I got a little distracted there. I have notifications off so the phone won't ring, but there was a text that just came down from Megan, and the front part of it just said, "I'm in class, but I'm so bored." And then I don't know what else it said. So I'm like, okay, it's good use of that college class time there. But those are my works in progress. You know, I'm rotating stuff in and out. I don't know what I'll rotate out this week if I want to bring back in Amsterdam. I don't know. I'm not sure. I definitely want to try to get a finish on Buttonwood, so I might really kind of focus on that a lot this week as well. We'll see. I do have a new start, because you know Thursdays is like my new start day. And I'm stitching this with somebody. So when I showed the patterns and said I would be doing this in September, Deborah, who on Instagram is Sand and Ocean Girl, and I will link her down below, reached out to me and said, let me know when you're starting it. I'll stitch it with you. I was like, hey, I've never actually started something with somebody and stitched it at the same time purposely. So thank you, Deborah, for reaching out. It's really fun to know that I have somebody that I'm stitching this with. And the next thing, how we're stitching it, was purely the part about how we're working it was her brilliance. I knew I wanted to stitch the Nantucket trio from Hemlock and Rye Stitchery, which I will link down below. And this is the three of them. Again, you know I print in black and white, so you're not going to see anything lovely that way. But this is the three of them. And I do plan on stitching the three of them. By the way, she has created a border. So if you do want to stitch them together and use a border, she has fantastically created one for that. I am stitching them all three, but I'm not going to stitch the border, I don't think. Remember how I talked about I would love a way to kind of connect them? I thought maybe like sidewalky-ish, but that wasn't really going to work. So Deborah had mentioned that she was going to try to line up the fence so that they would almost be, and I don't know, Deborah, are you connecting them? I'm not sure if I am or not. So they'd actually line up a little bit better. So they're not going to be stitched in the way they're shown in the picture I just showed you. They're going to be stitched so that the fences kind of make sense in how they go. So the first one that I'm going to be stitching is this one. And if you see, the fence ends on that side. So that's why that's the first one. So I have never, Hemlock and Rye is new. Julie recently just put these patterns out, and I had never stitched anything from her. Her pattern is done so well. Love, love, love how she charted it. So easy to read. I started this yesterday and I enjoyed every stitch of it. Really, really, really enjoyed it. This is done on Nantucket Sky. Ironic for a Nantucket trio, by Fabrics by Stephanie. And here's they will all go on the one long piece in the end. But this is the first house. And I just enjoyed every stitch. Enjoyed every single stitch because the chart is so easy to read. She adds the detail without getting too crazy fussy with changing colors all the time. And what I really appreciate, so most of it is charted in DMC. There are a few places in this pattern, the roof and the house color, where she suggests a potential fancy floss. But what she did was she went and tried to find two DMCs that you could put together, blend together, and get that kind of look. And I really appreciate that time and effort. For someone like me who is a DMC stitcher, user, stitcher, whatever you want to say, for her to take that extra time and effort really, really meant a lot. So that's what we have. I am super excited. Because I'm doing these houses, I am going to put aside the I'll Be Home Sal. That will be the first one, and then this one will be the middle one, followed by this one on the end. So the tree will create the end on that one. And Deborah was the one that had suggested connecting the fences. Brilliant idea. Really liked how that will connect them all so that it's connecting the way I saw it as a memory from Newport for me. So really, thank you, Deborah. Because I was trying to make way more work for myself, trying to figure out how to do it. And you're like, oh yeah, just do it this way. Of course. Sometimes I like to make things more difficult than easier. I don't know. But love, love, love this one. This is definitely going on my weekly rotation this month for sure. It may even stay through the October pumpkin extravaganza because I really am enjoying it. These are actually on a site called Gumroad, and what Gumroad is it's a site where you can offer different things. I've seen yoga classes on here as well, where they're offered for free, or you can also pay what you want type of thing. And she also has one more pattern their way. I saw on her video that she is currently model stitching some new patterns, so keep an eye out on this site for that. She's Kansas City girl in a Colorado world, so if you want to watch her floss tube to keep on track of that as well, so you can see when stuff comes out. But I love this stitch, and I'm really happy I chose it. It's one of my two sentimental September, shall we say, if we're going with the whole alliteration. Okay, English teachers, am I using that properly? And this one happens to remind me of all the time that my husband and I have spent in Newport. So that's why it's sentimental, given that this month is my anniversary month. And that is the current stitching. Plans. Still working my way for patterns and ideas for my pumpkin birthday sal. Hashtag pumpkin birthday sal. October. October is my birthday pumpkin extravaganza. So if you have something that has a pumpkin on it, stitch it in October. Grab the hashtag so I can see what you're stitching and join me. Doesn't have to be Halloween. It can be autumn, fall, Thanksgiving. I'm going to show you something that could actually be something even Thanksgiving. So feel free to interpret it however you want. I'll even take like pumpkin fabric. I'm cool. It works for me. I just want to celebrate my birthday with you guys. If we're gonna have to do this virtually, let's do a big virtual party. Other than that, I still have some starts this September that I'm thinking about. And this one I think next week is what I'm planning on starting. Hands-on Design Autumn Chalk Talk. Y'all have seen it because there is a Facebook group, there's a Sal. Lots of people have stitched it or stitching it. I, of course, am going to veer from the stitch on the black fabric train and go in a different direction, but that seems to be what I do. So that's the immediate plan. And then of course we have October plans. Shopping is tiny, 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 tiny. And ironically, it's not even the one piece of fabric I thought I would get. That got held up in post office Never Land. But I think I did just get a notification today that it might be moving again. So I'll show you that next week. This was a fabric from Kathy at Dying for Cross Stitch. I've mentioned her before. She does things a little bit differently in regards to how you buy fabric from her. But her fabric's gorgeous. This is an 18 count. Look at that. Look at that. How pretty is this? I think she just called it teal with grays. She doesn't have a specific line of fabric that you just go to at a website. And she is changing how she had been doing it in the past. So she has created a website, but she also has a Facebook page, which I will link down below, because that's when she makes the announcements of when the website is open. It's only open for a 3-day period, and I think there might be one more time it's opening in no, I don't know if it's opening anymore in September. Yeah, I think it is. One more weekend in September, and then 2 times in October, 2 times in November, and once in December. And at that time, when she opens the store, she will have some colors of fabric in the different counts and some colors of floss. And you buy it, and then she will dye to order within the next couple weeks. And this is in lieu of what she was doing as a fabric of the month. And she will do that 2 times a month. And I think that's just how she's going to work it. I think things were getting a little bit too difficult time-wise with what she was doing. So more power to you. Do what you got to do. Her fabric is really nice. I love this color. She also ice dyes, which I think gives a way different effect. So if you love that, keep an eye out for that as well. But I will definitely try to keep track of the Facebook group so that I can see when she opens up, because I do like her fabric. And she ships quickly. Obviously, before it was already made and dyed, but she has set a goal for herself of within 2 weeks. I hope, well, in some ways, I was going to say I hope she can do it, but in other ways, I hope she gets so many orders that maybe she takes a little longer than 2 weeks. We'll see. But good for her doing what she's got to do. Great fabric. Check it out if you want to get some of her fabric. So that's it for shopping. I did pull out, though, a free pattern, and it's the world's most awful picture, but the website, you have to download it, and then I don't know exactly from there what it looked like. So I'm going to show this awful black and white printed picture. But this is a free pattern that's called Thankful Every Day. It's heartstring samplery. And it's a pumpkin tree, which is why I wanted to show it to you. This, there is a heartstring samplery website, and it says free chart for Thanksgiving 2019. So if you go to the freebies section, she has a whole page worth of freebies, and that's where this one is. Like I said, it's called Thankful Every Day. Now, the reason it's that is because there's words that say thankful every day. I'm not a huge fan of that font, so either I change that or I just do the pumpkin tree. I'm not sure yet. But I thought this was really pretty, really nice. And if you're looking for something and you'd like to grab a free pattern, I would recommend going to that site. Super nice. Super nice of designers to offer things like this. Really, really great. All right, that's it for shopping. I have that piece that should have been here this week, should be next week. And then if I have anything else coming, I'm not sure. It is a fight night tonight. It's been 3 weeks since the last fight night. And I think Misty might be doing fabric games on Sunday. So maybe in a couple weeks, there might be some fabric to see. We'll see. I at least like to check it out. All right, let's talk giveaways. First, I want to remind Carol Osborne that you won. I chose your name last week for the, what's it called? Just Prim Village. Prim Village set of houses. It also has the charm. It's already packed away ready for Carol, so I don't want to take it out. I don't want to bend it any more than the few little bends I had done when I was stitching with it. So Carol, you have one more week to reach out to me. Either send me an email through the Gmail, which is down below, or feel free to DM me on Instagram. But 1 week more to reach out to me with your address so that I can mail this to you. If I don't hear from you right before I go to videotape my next video, I will pick a new name from the people who had thrown their name in the hat, so to speak, when this was being given away. Now, we are going to start pumpkin giveaways. And they're all going to be all different things, all different crazy things here and there. But I want to just start the celebrations early, and I thought this would be a fun thing to do in September, just so that if you get it in time for October, if you like it and you want to stitch it, you can. This is a pattern called Peter Pumpkin from Imaginating. Isn't it cute? I did get this pattern for myself too. I definitely think I'm going to skip the pipe. And looking at the pattern, it is really easy to be able to just stitch the little bit of his mouth and then the parts of the pumpkin itself if you don't want to do the pipe. I love the little crazy hat going up there, and I thought this was super cute. So, all right, so here we go with I've been a little lax with some of the rules for giveaways. First off, please don't say giveaway, please don't say free. If those comments are or words are in your comment, I'd have to delete your comment. Please be 18 so that I can get your address to send this to you. I would love it, love it, love it if you would be a subscriber. So please, if you're not subscribed, please think about subscribing. And then I saw on Michelle Bendy Stitchy, she was talking about if you have to say whether or not something is sponsored. This is not sponsored by anybody but me. So this is just a giveaway from me to you. What's the question? Let's make it. I was thinking about this morning. I usually think about them ahead of time, and nothing huge was coming into my head. So let's make it easy. Since we are celebrating my birthday in October, tell me what your birthday month is. Let's see what we have for all the different birthday months. So if you'd like to enter for this, tell me what your birthday month is, and you'll be entered. And that's it. Ooh, we're going to be a little bit shorter today. Life-wise, good news on the tree. The tree guy came and said, do not, well, he said, if you absolutely insist, we will take that tree down, but don't take that tree down. It is a very healthy oak that is doing just fine. So keep it up. So we're going to keep the tree up. I don't want to, if it's a healthy tree, I mean, some of these trees are old in our areas, and I don't know exactly how long trees live, but some of them do start to go. But that one, he said, is in fantastic condition. So we're going to keep the tree there. Connor is currently in school. He did 2 days virtual this week and 2 days in person. So he is at school. I had to wait for him to leave before I could videotape. And he happened to be, the way they're working the classes, there's some days where his first period will be free. And as a senior, he doesn't have to go in until second period. So he's loving that. He got to sleep late this morning. So he is in person school and doing that. Next week, they're supposed to be in person, everybody, every day. We'll see. I don't know if they like this half virtual, half in person. So we will see how that goes. The house has, what does it have? It has cabinets, but no countertops. So I think that's the next thing they are working on right now is counters. It does have doors now on the inside and trim. So it is moving along nicely, and that's about it. That's about all that's going on here. I did order, because I'm not doing a lot of outside shopping. I'm trying to stay home. I did order some fabrics from 123 Stitch. I didn't realize they had a section of fabrics. So I might be able to do some finishing whenever that stuff comes in. I tried to pick some of it's tough not in person. I picked some of the finishes, especially the ones at my mom's houses, the monthly cottages, and I want to try to get some of those finished. So hopefully I chose well. We'll see. The monitors can show different colors, but hopefully that I chose fairly close so I can get some of those finished. Because one day I'd like to show a fully finished. I promise. And my fully finished, though, some of you may say, Laura, that's only half fully finished. But you know me, I'm a little simpler. I'm a simple girl. This weekend we'll be stitching and watching football. The ACC is back and Clemson is my alma mater for grad school, so we will be watching that. And what else are we doing? Oh, I have 2 big orders came into my Etsy shop, so I will be stamping my little heart out and getting those worked on this weekend as well. But I do plan on getting some stitching in, especially those Nantucket houses, either Saturday or Sunday. It is already slated for one of those days. But that's about it. I hope you guys are all doing well and staying safe and healthy and doing all the things and getting lots of stitching time in still, hopefully, as we head into cooler weather and, you know, maybe inside a little bit more because the weather is not quite as nice anymore. So hopefully we get some stitching time in. And that's about it. My stitchy friends, thank you so much for joining me and being a part of my life week to week. And I really hope you'll join my pumpkin sal, #pumpkinbirthdaysal. I'd love to stitch with you. And until next time, happy stitching.